it's exciting to be able to give these little nuggets to people that just say, this made my life so much easier. Let me show you how it'll make your life so much easier.
Hello, fellow administrators. I am Josh Madera, and it's time to get connected to the Administrator Nation podcast. I am very excited since this will be our very first episode. We're going to be talking about the importance of belonging to a tribe, community, or an association. To do so, we have a very important guest. She has 13 years of experience as a law firm administrator for the Watkins Firm. She is also the current president for the San Diego chapter of the ALA. That is the Association of Legal Administrators. Katya Adams, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
I'm happy you're here, Katya. Thank you for accepting. Katya, I would like to ask you if you can share with our listeners a little bit more of what is ALA and what are the benefits that you see for an administrator being part of a tribe, a community, or an association such as ALA?
Sure. So the ALA is actually the Association of Legal Administrators. It's actually an international organization. They have chapters in other countries and all over the U.S. And then, we have our local chapters that are, kind of under the umbrella of the International Association. And it's just an opportunity for anybody in a legal management scenario to, network and learn with a lot of the same like-minded people that face a lot of the same challenges. We connect with a lot of other people in the industry, not necessarily the administrators or people in that role, but, a lot of business partners such as yourself. Just a really good place to expand on your career, your knowledge, your personal growth, networking.
How long have you been actually a member of ALA, Katya?
So it's funny, I actually consider myself a lot more junior than a lot of the other members I've met. Some of the members I've met have been in for quite a while, and they've been such an incredible resource. I actually only joined in, I want to say, roughly 5 years.
And in this 5 years, Katya, how has that made a difference in your career as an administrator?
I feel so much more educated and connected, and the value is just insane. We have conferences that I'm able to attend, and the people that I meet and the ideas that you share. And I just feel like not only does it make me more excited to do my job, I am more valuable now to my firm and what I do.
What have been some of the things that have helped you get there? If you can be a little bit more specific on a couple of examples. You talked a little bit about training. You talk about working with others like-minded as yourself, learning from them. So can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Sometimes you feel like you want to invest in something, whether it's your time to further a degree or join an association, but you kind of just enroll and see what the benefits are. I tried to really make the face time and put that time in, even though we all know time is so valuable.
Yes.
And that's what really paid off. It can be intimidating walking into a room of people, especially people that have so much more experience and are just rock stars in the industry. But they're so kind and giving and friendly. And there were times where I would find myself faced in situations and I would say, hey, what would you do? They gave me this advice that would just blow my mind. I never even thought of. Or some of the education that's offered and a lot of the networking. And like I said, meeting these people in the other industries that work in legal. It's just, that's what really I feel has been the biggest benefit, is hearing what other people have to say.
Yeah. You know what, Katya? I remember my first ALA meeting that I got a chance to attend, and I felt really welcome. Like, everyone there was really nice. I felt really comfortable being part of ALA, and I also was really motivated to be part of that group. I've really enjoyed it. It's been only a year and a half for me, but it's something that I really value. It's brought a lot of nuggets as well to help me do a better job, and great networking. Great networking. How has what do you think on the networking piece of belonging to a tribe provides ALA? How has the network been for you and other administrators?
There's so many components to what we do. And, I've always been fortunate in my firm to have a really strong support system. I actually, for a small firm, I'm lucky that I have somebody that really works with me side by side and helps me do a lot. I know a lot of other people, especially in the smaller firms, they are on their own. And, the attorneys are so busy and they go, okay, hey, go figure out how to go paperless. Where do you start? Going and searching online, it's just so inefficient when you could go to somebody that just, did this to 100 attorney firm and they said, oh, well, I can tell you, don't do this and do that. I mean, that alone, just the networking aspect of that, so valuable.
Katya, what has been the experience for your tribe during this process of uncertainty with everything happening around the coronavirus situation?
Yeah, it's been interesting. So my year as the chapter president started off with COVID. The first event to get canceled was actually my induction dinner.
Wow.
And, everybody's just been so kind and flexible and understanding. And it's hard enough, this pressure and stress that we were feeling, worrying about our health, worrying about our families, a lot of people worrying about their welfare financially.
Right.
And then really having to uproot our firms. Pretty much every firm at one point or another shut down and went virtual. Some are coming back now, whether it's full or partial. And it was just such uncharted territory. And, someone with our personality, which a lot of us have the same really perfectionist type of personality.
Yes.
You're worried about, what if I do something wrong? Because a lot of times our attorneys are looking to us to be the voice to say, this is what I think we should do based on all this stuff I know about, HR and what we see the other firms doing. And so just having all of us to kind of be a soundboard off of each other, it really made the process a lot mentally more calm. I think everybody could see in each other's eyes, this is so much. I'm working so much more just to keep everything going. And there was so much commiseration and friendliness and kindness. And I think that goes a long way too. It's kind of funny because I remember there was one particular article that I read that was sent from a collection of articles from ALA International. And it was, stop being such a perfectionist. Everything is crazy right now. Stop trying to read every article, which is exactly what I was doing.
Wow.
Stop trying to expect that everybody is going to, expect the sun, the moon, and the stars. We are all just trying to get through this crazy time. So in a way, it's kind of funny because one of the benefits from being in my tribe are all the resources, which at the time included, don't worry about so many of the resources. So it's fluid, it's understanding, it changes with the times. That's the people and the materials we get. And that's huge. I mean, everybody that's been staying on top of providing us with all this information, incredible. I think there tends to be, depending on the environment that you're in, there can be a lot of isolation. And that's a big concern right now in the COVID days with a lot of people working remotely. We're really told as leaders, don't let your people feel isolated. In fact, I was told by my boss, make sure you make your priority talking to everybody. And I did. And I would just try to call people and say, hey, we don't have to talk about your workload or anything. Just how's it going? How are the kids? How's the dog? And we, in the ALA, we started doing that too. We had a couple Zoom roundtables, and it was just so nice to see each other's faces and have that human connection. And that's what we give each other on a regular basis too, is that human friendly connection that sometimes you forget that when you're doing 50 things at once and putting out 900 fires and you say, I don't have time to take a lunch or to go do anything, but you force yourself out for that lunch hour to go to an educational presentation and just say hi to some of your friends. It really changes your mindset. And it's so important. It's so important to disconnect from the heavy and connect with your tribe, your people, people that will put you in a better headspace. And then you come, you may have lost a couple hours between driving and going to this thing, but you come back and you're more productive because you're refreshed and you're happier and you're not just going cross-eyed from never taking a break.
And how did this affect your internal drive within the law firm?
I feel like we thrived. We really focused on helping each other and helping our clients. A lot of our clients are businesses, individuals that, are involved in businesses, and the laws were changing, not every day, every hour. Wow. And we just really try our best to keep on top of it and just call our clients, even if it wasn't to talk about, hey, this new, sick leave is coming down. Are you prepared? But just to say, how are you doing? What can I talk to you about? And I think they really appreciated that. And everybody was flexible. Everybody was really great, with me setting everything up. And I appreciated everybody. We have a good tribe.
I'm going to take advantage of your experience as a law firm administrator. And what piece of advice would you give? Because not everyone listening today is already an administrator with so-and-so years of experience. So what advice would you give to someone who's trying to get into the administrator position? Maybe they want to go into the legal area of administration. What advice would you give that person who's motivated, excited, they want to get, but they're not too sure how to do it?
It's funny you say that. We actually launched a program this year, which unfortunately with everything going on, we haven't really been able to spearhead it as much as we'd like, but a peer connections program to really get those people in a more junior position to take advantage of the connections with the really seasoned individuals to help them with questions exactly like this. I mean, I would consider myself in the middle with my amount of experience compared to, some of our members. Yes. But sure, I would definitely say, be open-minded. Don't be too hard on yourself. But do expect that generally there is no such thing as a slow day.
Right.
Take advantage of resources, whether that's, again, through an association such as the ALA or people that I always laugh and say it's not about what you know, it's about who you know. And yes, that really rings true here. And just be mentally flexible. There are times where you really have to stand up for what you think is the right answer, and other times where you've just got to roll with the punches and say, okay, well, the troops are not responding well to us wanting to do this. Let's try something else.
In the legal industry, Katya, is there like a path for someone who wants to grow into, I don't know, director of operations, firm administrator, office manager? Because not everyone starts at that position. A lot of people grow into it, right? And what would you say would be good steps for someone who's interested in going in that direction for them to take?
I would say definitely start at some kind of an entry-level position within a law firm. And you've got to understand, too, that there's a significant difference between a small firm, a medium firm, and a large firm. Each one is different in their own way. And I mean, they're all great. It just depends on what kind of dynamic you're looking to get into. And of course, even within those sizes, there's differences in culture and people. So I think figuring that out is half the battle. Also kind of knowing that San Diego is a really small legal community. Uh-huh. So it's always important to just stay professional, keep good relationships going. I personally started as a file clerk. I had zero interest in law. I was going to UCSD. My firm was in UTC at the time. And I just wanted an office job. I was done working retail. And, I wanted to work in an office, a normal job, and be close to UCSD. And I got into this job. And I remember taking the first look at legal documents and going, this is like Spanish to me. Like, what does any of this mean? But I really thrived in it, and I enjoyed it, the fast paced and, everything that comes along with it. And here I am later.
Katya, another thing that's really interesting about the administrator position within a company is that the administrator is kind of in the middle. You have the owner, you have the partner, you have the CEO, and then you have the rest of the team in the company. different positions, and you're kind of in the middle. You're the bridge, right? And you can't go too much to one side. You can't go too much to the other side. You're always working on keeping that balance. And that's, I think, one of the areas where I found a lot of value of being part of a tribe, of being a part of a community such as ALA. Because I feel that when you're there, like, you find your place and you can really be open. You don't have to have your guard up of how maybe if I build this relationship, they're gonna take advantage of this or of that, or it's just a really unique position that people have as an administrator. And when you're part of the tribe, I feel like you feel like you find your place. I don't know if you agree with that. What do you think on that one?
I absolutely agree with that. And, the story I always tell is my girlfriend, Lauren, and we both did this for a living, and we knew each other quite a ways before. And then just one day it clicked. I don't know how we never discussed the fact that we're both law office administrators, considering it's such a small, community.
Oh, wow.
And we said, oh, let's go to happy hour and just talk shop. And I think we were there for like 3.5 hours. Just, what do you do? Does this happen at your firm? And, what program do you use? And just
Yes.
constant back and forth. And she said, did you know that there's a whole association that does this all the time, where you can get together and talk to people? And I think we were both signed up within 2 months. And then we were on the board within a year. I mean, we just jumped into it because, like you said, I think she had come from a place like me where it's, small firm. So you don't have a lot of these other departments.
Yes.
Right. So a lot of times you either have one person helping you, like I'm so fortunate to have, or you are just on your own. And so you meet a lot of these people that are faced with these same issues, and you have this appreciation for each other. Of course you appreciate your office, you appreciate your bosses that take care of you, you appreciate, the staff that you work with and the attorneys, but it's just a different level of,
Yes.
what I'm dealing with.
It's hard to find that connection
Right.
with someone else who's not going through those challenges, through those problems, that motivation, that pressure. A lot of the pressure is on the administrator's shoulders at the end of the day. Sometimes they do get the credit, sometimes they don't, but the pressure's there.
Yeah. I mean, we know what we're getting into, and then, kind of to go back, one of the other big benefits, I think, of being around these people is I do a lot of times come back really feeling inspired about my job. Which it's hard to have that sense when you're just daily going through the motions. I think a lot of people can say the same thing when they go out and get educated or learn about a cool new computer program. Well, we get all of that. We get education about IT, insurance, just general communications, how to properly engage with individuals.
Yeah.
And it's really inspiring. And it does have me coming back and presenting really great ideas and trying to make my firm a better place, trying to make me a better leader. That's what's really valuable to me too.
Yes. I think also a big piece of that is there's always big gratification in giving, and also having the chance to give back to people with maybe less years of experience, someone who's going through a problem that maybe you faced 2-3 years ago. So having that opportunity also to give back and help other people, I think that's part of the motivation that you're talking about, right?
And I think, like you said, when you asked me, when you give somebody advice that hasn't done this, you could tell that they're doing it genuinely and they're happy to do it and they're happy to help us. And that's so great.
I've been connecting to the Zoom meetings that ALA has been hosting for the members, and the things they've been talking about, the subjects they've been covering. I think it's been really on point. It's been really helpful for administrators to get past this big challenge. Some of the mental side of it, or the type of attitude that we need to face this with. I think it's been covered. I've seen that you guys have been covering from the psychological side all the way to the logistics side of how to handle that for your law firm. Can you share a little bit more about that part, Katya?
We've been really fortunate to have a lot of great presentations, and big thanks to you guys for helping us launch that through the webinars. We would have crashed and burned without you. But I think the first presentation we had on, surviving your mental health and wellness, that's when everything, we got shut down so quickly overnight. Everything was changing so quickly, that
Yes.
uncertainty, that fear. And then we started getting into the logistics. Okay, there's all these new laws coming down, the CARES Act, which is this big umbrella of all the financial things that were done. Presentation on that. And then people start talking about, okay, well, is it safe to start going back? And then, from an insurance perspective, we were fortunate to have Armanino speak on the financial, and then Kavanagh and Associates speak on the insurance liability side. And I've been getting a lot of feedback from the members and the people that attended, and just talking about what value that brought to them
Yes.
for all of those subjects, because we're all facing it.
Something that I also really like about what you guys do in ALA is the giving back with that event you do once a year.
Sure, yes. Couture for a Cause. So Couture for a Cause is our fancy bash gala fashion show. Our chair is Lauren Bloodworth. She's been doing a great job last few years, and all of the people before her. It's a fashion show with attorneys and people in the legal community, and we support Voices for Children and StarPal, two fantastic organizations. Unfortunately, our September event is not going to go forward. At the beginning of this whole situation, we were, bouncing back and forth, but it's really looking like most in-person events for most organizations will not go forward this year.
Right.
So we're just trying to get exposure for the charities, both Voices for Children and StarPal. They do incredible things for the children in the San Diego community. We're trying to really give exposure through our newsletters that we send to our members and to our business partners, and just seeing if people can donate a little interest, a little time, a little money. These organizations really need it now more than ever, with a lot of businesses going down. We are hoping to have the event shifted to the spring, starting in 2021, depending on how things go. It's a fabulous event. We have cocktails and hors d'oeuvres, and it's usually at the Natural History Museum, which has always been a great venue the last couple of years. So we're really hopeful we can keep it going, but we do ask everybody to take a look. And if you'd like to reach out to me or to Lauren Bloodworth about more information on these charities, I think it'd be a great use of your time.
It definitely is, and it's a great event. Last year was my first time assisting, and I loved it. But what was really impressive for me, Katya, was I could tell the hard work that gets put into that.
Yeah.
I was like, wow, this type of venue, this is a lot of work. It's a really big commitment. How many years have you guys been doing that?
I want to say it's been, and I should know this because one of the last flyers we did said it's been at least 10 years.
Wow.
And the Lauren and I joined, I want to say 4 years ago to the committee.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And then Lauren joined on, and she took over as the chair. And we have a great committee. We partner with a lot of other organizations in the legal community, the San Diego Paralegal Organization or Association, Legal Secretaries Association. We've had a lot of other lawyers clubs, things like that through the past. Really great people that have donated their time, which is so valuable to put on this great event. And it does take time. And in the middle of it, you're going, oh my gosh, there's still so much to do. But then when you're there and the event is going, and you see these kids, these incredible kids, and these charity representatives, and everybody's having so much fun, and the auctions are going and the donations are coming in, then we wake up the next day and go, okay, that was worth it. Let's do it again.
I want to, since we already mentioned a couple of times, Lauren Bloodworth, she's great. She's the person who took care of me when I first joined, gave me all the information, all the emails. She made me feel like she really made me feel really special when I joined ALA. She made me feel like I was welcome, excited about being part of it. Really professional, always on top of everything. So I want to take the opportunity to say hi to Lauren. I think one of the pieces when you talk about resources that I think we haven't talked about yet is the opportunities you get when being a part of when you're part of a community such as ALA. The growth opportunities for administrators, knowing, oh, you know what, there's this opportunity over here. There's this you can learn that can help you grow within the law firm. helping grow your entire organization, or, sometimes a lot of people during this hard period got laid off. They got furloughed, and they were like, wow, like, what am I going to do now? Like, just questioning themselves. And I think there's another benefit of being part of a tribe. You have more doors open, I guess. You have more opportunities to land a good job, to land a good position. What would you agree with that? What do you think about that part, Katya?
Absolutely. Anytime that one of us, happens to lose a position, whether it's by choice or not, everybody's just the first response is, let me see if I know that there's anything out there for you. And It's actually really funny because one of our other business partners, who is a staffing firm, reached out and said, hey, if you'd like to let your members know, and I guess there were a couple other members that this email went out to, about this position. And so I forwarded over to a couple of people that I knew were looking. And I replied to this person. I said, oh, have you reached out to so-and-so and so-and-so? And he replied and he goes, man, I just sent this out. And I think in 10 minutes or whatever, I've heard from so many of you guys recommending people. You are there. You are really looking out for each other. And I can tell.
Yeah, I love that. I love that part. And also, I think one of the past networking events that I had a chance to be in with you guys, I really enjoyed listening to you and other administrators talking about, this application works great for me, or this company, and I wouldn't recommend this, I would recommend that. And I guess more than half of the conversation was about what works, what doesn't work, and maybe learning that on your own would probably take a lot of time and would cost a lot of money.
Right.
And I don't think there's, when you were touching on that a little bit the other day, Katya, about when you recommend someone, when you recommend the company, when you recommend the service, what's really behind it when you're part of this community?
Trust.
Yes.
Really, really trust. I think we're all really fair to not bash anybody. That's really not fair, because who's to say that maybe just something wasn't a good fit, whether it was a company you worked for or a product that you tried, or, even people you've worked with in the past. We know that's not really fair. But if you've had a phenomenal experience with somebody and this is just above and beyond, yes, let's go ahead and recommend this person or this product or this pen. I don't, it's exciting to be able to give these little nuggets to people that just say, this made my life so much easier. Let me show you how it'll make your life so much easier. And there's a satisfaction in that.
Katya, there's also a yearly event you guys have where the value is concentrated for a couple of days, right?
So that's ALA International. They hold these annual conferences. Unfortunately, we were supposed to be in Salt Lake City in April this year. And that, got canceled, but they actually did a really great job in trying to convert it to a partially virtual conference. So that was great. Next year, if all goes to plan, we'll be going to Chicago, which will be really cool. And those conferences are so fun. I mean, I remember, my boss is always like really into education. And this is how I really first got into ALA and being on the board is, he would recommend, oh, why don't you go and try this and try that? And back then they were having kind of like these mini conferences, and there was one in Las Vegas. And I looked at the agenda and it was, HR issues and insurance and communication and all this stuff. And I said, oh, if you want me to go to anything, I think I should go to this. And he said, okay, go. And that was my first taste of like really being in the mix, the education, the networking, the hanging out with not only the people that you meet through your chapter, but throughout the whole country. And I have friends now in Oklahoma and Seattle and New York and Arizona. And, I've just made so many connections, and that's been really satisfying. And you get to unwind a little bit and have these fun events, and then you buckle down and get all this education, and then you come back to your firm with a list this big of stuff that you're inspired to do from all of these things that you learned in classes and all of these demos that you watched from different products. And they're really great conferences. And I hope that we're able to attend next year.
I hope I can make it to that one
Yeah.
also.
So fun.
You know what? You just mentioned the word fun and unwind. And
Yeah.
I think we haven't touched yet on that part.
We never do that.
You know, I think that's something that if I'm thinking about your driving the community of ALA, those things come to my mind as well. I think about fun and I think about unwinding.
I think that's really important in any organization. I mean, even, people ask that now when they interview at a firm. Do you have any events? We have a couple events a year. And I think when you're in a hardworking professional environment, you need that. You need that in your job. You need that in your organizations, because we work so hard.
Yes.
We need something to pay off for it. And it's really smart networking when you do a lot of these unwinding events, because people let their guard down and they relax and you make more of a connection. And so it's easier for me to approach you and say, hey, can we have a frank conversation about this, that, or the other? Because you actually have a connection, as opposed to just, oh, hi, I see you once a month and we don't talk.
I want to bring in some perspective from a partner's point of view.
Okay.
Because for me, there's two options when you're in ALA, right? Is the member, which are the administrators, and the partners, which are companies who get to be part of the community. They're not necessarily law firm administrators, but they offer accounting, they offer insurance. In our case, we're a technology company. We offer IT support. And it's been great on that side as well, because you don't only get to do great connections, learn, be motivated, have fun. You also get a chance to grow your business. I think as a business partner, it's a really smart decision to be part of ALA. For me, I've been really happy that we took the decision of going with ALA. And I'm really looking forward to many, many more years of being part of it.
We appreciate having you guys. It's these partnerships we have, these friendships we make. You guys are such a huge resource to us, not only in the support, but just the networking, the information provided. And I think the benefit that a lot of the business partners see is that a lot of us really do help make the decisions in our firms. But what's kind of new now in the organization is they've expanded the membership a little bit to allow not necessarily just an administrator or just a controller or just an HR manager, somebody in a really managerial role.
Yes.
But now if you really, have an interest in legal management, but you might not quite be there yet, you can join as a member. Whereas before you would have this kind of limited associate membership role. Yes. Now you can be a full-fledged member. So say that you're a paralegal, a senior paralegal, but you kind of feel like you're on the track to maybe administration. Well, in the past, you wouldn't have been able to qualify to join, but now you can, which is great, because the thought behind that is these are the people rising up in the ranks.
Yes.
So these are the people that, are getting, it's such a big benefit. They're getting, guidance from people that are already in that position. And then the business partners are getting to make relationships with the people that are about to go into a position where they're going to help make those decisions with the partners, with the owners. So hopefully that's a good recipe for success.
It definitely is. It definitely is. That's great that you guys have incorporated that into the ALA Association. Katya, and if someone's interested in getting more information, maybe they want to be part of ALA, how can they get a hold of you?
Sure. So my contact information is available on our website, www.watkinsfirm.com. You've got my whole contact card there. Please feel free to reach out. In addition, there is the alanet.org website, which is where you would have to start. You have to become a member of ALA International first, which has its own slew of incredible benefits. Once you are an approved member, then you would hear from a chapter representative if you're in the San Diego area, asking if you'd like to, come to a meeting for free, check out the chapter, and that alone is a really great benefit. I remember asking one of our accountants that we work with, and I was saying, do you think this is a good time of, or a good use of time and money? And he said, the resources you will get from this organization will be invaluable. And I can definitely say that that's proven true. So, and if you're a potential member and, you want to just come check out a meeting, you can join one of our Zoom meetings. Back in the normal days, we would have invited you to a luncheon meeting. Unfortunately, we can't do that right now, but reach out to me. I'd be happy to show you the lay of the land a little bit.
Katya, another question that I have is, what kind of services does the Watkins Firm offer?
We're a business, real estate, and employment firm. We have a transactional department and a litigation department. We form a lot of businesses. We assist in any pending or active litigation. We, represent everybody from individuals to business owners to healthcare providers. We consider ourselves, a true business firm.
Katya, I want to say thank you for accepting our invitation and being part of our very first episode of Administrator Nation, as well as for sharing such valuable information with all of us. And to our listeners, if you are an administrator, we want to invite you to be part of our community. You can find us on LinkedIn and Facebook under Administrator Nation. Also, please make sure to subscribe to all our social media platforms. Till next time, I am Josh Madera, and remember, your vibe determines your tribe.